It's back. No, literally the movie It, based on the popular novel by Stephen King, is back with its second chapter. Of course, we couldn't stop straddling the line between being intrigued and disgusted while we were watching the trailer for It Chapter 2. So, let's break it down and point out some things you might not have noticed the first time around. If you didn't catch the references to the book, don't worry, we'll fill you in. In the first It movie, we learned that the horrifying trans-dimensional being most of us know as Pennywise the Dancing Clown emerges every 27 years to terrorize the sleepy Maine town of Derry. So, with that in mind, we know the trailer starts out about 27 years after the events of the first film. If you recall the previous trailer for the movie, you'll likely remember a scene where tons of red balloons surrounded the Derry Bridge, which we've given another glimpse of. In the novel, Adrian Mellon is attacked in a hate crime and thrown from a bridge, an event that marks the return of Pennywise. According to It Chapter 2 writer Gary Doberman, this scene is going to be in the movie, and Xavier Dolan will be portraying Adrian. It's a gruesome and frankly hard-to-read scene, and we're guessing it's how It Chapter 2 is going to start out. There's also another moment we've seen where we see Pennywise holding a bunch of red balloons leaping over a giant statue of a man wielding an axe. In the book, this statue comes alive. But it remains to be seen if this will happen in the movie or if it'll remain a stationary tribute. In the beginning of this trailer, we see someone splashing around in water, seemingly desperate for help. It certainly seems as though this could tie into the scene with the balloons and that bridge. After all, Adrian Mellon does manage to survive the fall, only to meet his end at the hands of Pennywise. And as we're sure you can imagine, it's a grisly, horrifying end. We also got to catch a glimpse of the unsettling Mrs. Kersh, who lives in Beverly's old house, or at least pretends to. In the books in the miniseries from the 1990s, it's revealed Mrs. Kersh is actually It, which you probably figured out by now. In the miniseries, she makes Beverly drink a cup of blood, and in the books, she has her take a sip of something even grosser. We'll let you use your imagination or literary knowledge on that one. The final trailer starts out in a happier location than a decaying old woman's house, and we see Bill Denbrough riding his bike with Beverly on the back of it. We see her find the poem Ben Hanscom wrote her in the previous trailer, but it's Bill we see her smooching. Maybe in the 27 years since she's been home, she once more forgot who wrote her that sweet note. We hear a grown-up Mike Hanlon revealing that unlike his fellow members of the Loser Club, he never left the sleepy town of Derry. In the book, Mike works at the library and is the only one who seems to remember what happened with Pennywise the Clown. Onto a happier scene, we see the Losers Club reunited once more, and they have a meeting at a Chinese restaurant called Jade of the Orient. This place is actually based on a real eatery called Oriental Jade, located in King's hometown of Bangor, Maine. While most of the Losers Club has forgotten about their adventure doesn't sound like the right word for it, so let's just say nightmare from the last movie, Mike hasn't. And he reminds them all of their oath to reunite and stop Pennywise should he emerge again. We get to see the kids from the first movie and see who is playing them as adults. There's Jessica Chastain as Beverly, Jay Ryan as Ben, James McAvoy as Bill, James Ranson as Eddie, Isaiah Mustafa as Mike, and Bill Hader as Richie. But wait a second, isn't someone missing? Yeah, the Losers Club is missing a member, Stanley. If you've read the book, you know what happens to Stan, and it isn't pretty. There's a scene in the trailer which features a hand slumped over the side of a bathtub, and we have a bad feeling we know what happened to the missing Losers Club member. We see a pretty extended scene of a grown-up Bill inside of a carnival funhouse with some very familiar-looking clowns. Their costumes actually look like the one worn by the iconic actor Tim Curry in the old miniseries. But although that looks familiar, Bill chasing a kid through a house of mirrors doesn't, which means we're going to get some divergence from the book. We get back to basics by seeing the losers near that familiar house, and there are a flash of upsetting images. One of them features Henry Bowers, who we saw fall down a well in the first movie. In the book, Henry is the one who ends up taking the fall for all the destruction caused by Pennywise. We see some more scenes reminiscent of the first movie, including little Georgie, Beverly being covered in blood in a bathroom, and our heroes walking through the sewers. We also see a scene where Mike's screaming while in some kind of tent, which could point to something which happens in the book. How much of the weird, complex lore from the book will be incorporated into the movie is hard to say, but according to the director, we're going to get to see Maturin in the movie. All we know for sure is that it's going to be just as scary, if not scarier than the first one, and we can't wait to see it in theaters. What do you think about the final trailer for It Chapter 2? Did it get you excited for the movie premiere, or do you think there's no way it could be better than the miniseries? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section below, and then click subscribe for more videos from us here at CBR. Bye for now.